Why and how the hell am I lactating? I am not op while I'm a breastfeeding mom. This is not me. It was written by you, Terrific Terror, and posted on our Breastfeeding, which is a breastfeeding support sub. I corrected a couple misspellings, but left everything else. Reminder not to brigade the op or the site. It is a place for support. I will delete my post and burn up the report button from overuse if y'all change the atmosphere there. But this was so sweet I wanted to share the happy. Trigger warning. Mention of miscarriage. Mention of premature birth and adoption. Less than. Mood. Happy. Less than. Op posted March 25, 23. Original post here. Why and how the hell am I lactating? A couple of days ago, the biological mom of my baby prematurely gave birth. There is a lot of context and backstory, but what matters for my questions is that BM gave birth. Left the hospital same day, and I have been at the hospital with baby while we deal with all the issues that come with prematurehood. Things that might be relevant medically. I have 2 biological children and 1 adopted child already. This is my 4th baby and 2nd adoption. My last pregnancy was about 4 years ago and I ended up miscarrying at 8 weeks. My last full pregnancy was 9 years ago. I had a full hysterectomy about 5 years ago. I have not been stimulating lactation in any way. I breastfed my biological kids for 6 months each. So, today I am sitting with baby and suddenly my boobs start throbbing. I get up and I am absolutely soaked. The ladies working neonatal were as surprised as I am, but encouraged me to grab this golden chance and breastfeed my baby. So, my questions. The fuck? Why and how is this happening? Your body supposedly caters milk to what your baby needs. How does my body know when I did not carry her? Will she have everything she needs? Is breastfeeding a child you didn't carry considered wrong? Thanks for your input, guys. Edit. Since it's been mentioned twice already, I feel like I should mention that I do have some medical issues and am under some pretty strict supervision. None of my doctors have reason to believe it is reason for concern. Update posted March 28, 23. Update post here. Why and how the hell am I lactating? Update. Hey all. First of all, thank you for all of your super helpful advice. Your input and personal stories. They really helped me out and pointed me in the right directions. After consulting a small army of pediatricians, doctors, midwives, lactation consultants and even a therapist, I was given the green light to breastfeed my baby from her point of view. I also spoke to my doctor about the medical conditions some of you mentioned in the comments. I was checked over and came up completely fine. I am really just lactating because a baby. So, I've been nursing for a couple of feedings now and so far she is doing great. Latches on fantastically. Is a nice calm drinker and looks so goddamn content afterwards it melts everyone's little heart. She's truly giving new meaning to the term, milk drunk. So, thanks again. Hope everyone has a happy Easter. As someone who was checked very closely because I started lactating for someone else's baby. Some of us will do that. This was a sweet post. The body can do such crazy things. But I'm sure since she's previously breastfed and having intense maternal feelings that it just released a strong boost of serotonin oxytocin. I've read up on relactation and seen many women breastfeed again after 6+ years. I don't know why, but I started reading this thinking Oop was male. And took way too many sentences for me to realize otherwise. Making the title quite the wild ride for me at first. Lol. This is really sweet. I'd heard that this was possible, but never from someone to whom it had actually happened. My buddy, who has been totally checked out by DRS, Has never been pregnant, but when her nephew was born one of her boobs started lactating. The kid is like 10 now and her left boob still produces milk. New fear unlocked. My baby is 43 years old. Hearing a hungry baby cry, or as with this post being reminded of nursing my little ones, still triggers that letdown reflex. No actual milk, just the ache in the breasts. And the really weird bit is that I had a mastectomy 9 years ago. Both the breast that remains and the phantom breast are aching. Man, bodies are so weird. I'm so happy it played so much in OOP's favor. The care, concern and love she's having for this new baby of hers, her fourth, no less, permeates through this post so much. My 30-something grown-ass man butt just feels like crying. Edit. Never mind the feel like crying. Now my university paper has tears on it. Thanks Reddit. Bodies are weird. I read a book on genetics once. This reminded me of something called epigenetics, aka the outside world turning genes off and on and modifying them. They said that when a new mother smells her baby's head, the baby is exuding hormones, pheromones or something that turn on the lactation gene in the mom. Maybe it's something to do with that. I would be curious if the baby shares her DNA or not. It's even more amazing if not. My kids are 5 and 9. Haven't breastfed for over 3 years and for some reason or another, I start lactating every once in a while. Bodies are weird. This happens in cats, too. Source. Had a female ragdoll who was desperate for kittens, and a tabby kitten who had just hit her first heat. My dad threw her outside because he couldn't stand the howling. Turned out Tabby was one of those fecund creatures who only need to be housed somewhere near sperm to have all the kittens. And she hated it. I have never seen an animal look at their own offspring with such dramatic loathing. She'd nurse when the pressure got bad, but the whole time she'd be looking up at us, like she was saying, "What is this? Why am I doing this? What are these things? Why is it wriggling?" Quote. And then the ragdoll realized there were kittens nearby and began to spontaneously lactate and steal kittens. We'd see her heading upstairs with a baby in her mouth and didn't realize that yes, the kittens were nursing until the 3rd or 4th time, when we felt her belly and went, huh. She was not pregnant. She was intact. This was the 90s and my family was habitually broke. Fixing cats was not high on the priority list back then, but she was not allowed outside because she was dumber than a box of hammers. She'd get lost 6 feet from the door. I watched it happen. Twice. I'm pretty sure Lukewarm Mayo had a higher IQ. Very sweet. Very affectionate. We were all pretty certain the gleam in her eye was from the light coming in through her ears. But she began spontaneously lactating and kidnapping kittens because she had apparently gotten the Tabby's dose of mothering instinct on top of her own. And then Tabby Cat realized that the ragdoll wanted her kittens. And I'd never seen a happier animal. She hauled all of them upstairs to the ragdoll's usual lair and booked it to the opposite side of the house. She'd return when the milk pressure got bad. But she dried up before the kittens figured out stairs. She never, ever spent another minute on the same plane as her own kittens. And Ragdoll had the cleanest, fattest, most active collection of kittens who looked absolutely nothing like her. And visitors would look at this glorious ball of white and gray fluff, and these little short-haired gremlin kittens and ask, "So, who was the father?" And we'd have to explain while the ragdoll cleaned her little family. It was a very weird time to be a kid. This makes me happy. I had a stillborn son years and years ago, and I started lactating around his due date, which was APPX 10 weeks later. It was super weird. Bodies are amazing and super weird. The human body is a strange and fascinating thing. But there's no point in looking a gift horse in the mouth, and formula is insanely expensive lately. Happy story. Man, I loved breastfeeding. What a beautiful experience for this mom and daughter to have. This is terrifying to me. I didn't even know this was possible. It truly is fascinating what our bodies are capable of. Less than 3. I breastfed my kid for 18 months. They are 8 years old now. And I just had extra mammograms and ultrasounds because I randomly lactate. Apparently I'm a dairy cow now. My sister lactated for 11 years after her last baby. My son is 8. And there's still milk kicking around in my ducts.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Sheetascastle is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.